I was passing through Walmart and found the perfect start to my latest project, $2.50 for this rubber ball. But first I got to get is a base. I have this round one and it's going to be great. You can use a square piece of plywood, but I've got to use glue to hold the first ball to the base. This is construction adhesive. You can use anything you want. I put it to the base and the ball, and then I'm going to place it on there. Now I know what you're thinking. This is not going to hold it in place. You're right. But the next step is to grab some expanding foam, especially the bright white. That is what we definitely need for this project. Once we get it all glued up, what we got to do is go around the base with the expanding foam. Not too much. We don't want it to expand and push the ball away from the base. But if you know expanding foam, it is sticky, and it's going to be great to hold it down while giving it a firm base. Once it's held down, go up and down the sides and all around, and that's going to stick right to the ball, and it's going to look like snow, which is a great start to our project. I also almost forgot, we have to get a black ornament, take the top off, and this is going to be like the vest or the gumdrop that goes up and down on the snowman. So we're going to put that in place while the foam is still sticky. It will stick there, just check on it. Now it's time for the second layer. We're going to grab a smaller ball and put that on top. Once we get the foam on that, it's time to go to a third one. Now I got this one for only $1. We're going to cover Spidey up here real quick, but we're going to finish off doing the second layer. Always put a layer of the expanding foam down between the two because it's so sticky, it's going to hold it in place. Once we get it all foamed up across the front and everything, what we got to forget though is make sure we get some eyes made. We got to make the eyes, mouth, and the nose. I took some little round pegs, painted them black to look like the coal that goes on the face. Go ahead and paint it on the top and the sides, and then what we're going to do is put it in place. Now it's a little tricky to make sure we get the eyes right where we need them. Take your time, but you stick it right in there, and I promise they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay right in place. When you're doing the mouth, start at the very bottom one, put that one in place, and then we'll go up to the cheeks. Start on the left side, then go to the right, and then you're going to fill it in right in between. I took a piece of wood, painted it orange, and sharpened it on the tip, and that's going to hold it right in place. Now it's time for the most important part, and that's that top hat. I cut out this wood round on a little 16th inch piece of plywood, took a planter, glued it in place. Don't worry, the glue's going to stick out a little bit, but we can always clear that off. Once it dries though, we can touch it up with a little more black paint. Now we've got that top hat made. Let's go ahead and put it in place. That foam is still sticky. We can just set it right there. Now we got to decorate the hat, put on a scarf, and here it is. We got our little snowman and it's ready to go. Once that foam dries, it is solid to the touch. It's not sticky anymore. I think our snowman turned out really good. And the great thing is you can put him outside because it's going to be waterproof, especially with that foam. Now with his hat and his scarf, he's ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this project.
Don't pack up those Halloween decorations just yet. If you missed my first video, drill holes in the bottom of each pumpkin pail using a 3/4 inch drill bit. Then spray with flat white paint made specifically for plastic. I sprayed 2 coats which covered the orange. Once the paint had dried, I made a face. I used buttons for eyes and a cork for a nose, hot gluing them into place. For the mouth, I drilled holes in either side and threaded a zip tie through each hole. For arms, I drilled holes in the side of the second pumpkin and inserted medium-sized branches. In my first video, I placed 3-foot rebar posts into my planting pots, securing them using soil and large rocks. Then I lay 2 faux evergreen reeds over the top of the pot for height. I threaded each white pumpkin over the rebar, creating a snowman. To finish, I tied a scarf around the first and second pumpkin. Using things found around my house, this cute little snowman didn't cost me a dime. I hope this inspires you to use your trick-or-treat pails to create your own cute little snowman for your home.
We will be starting this craft off with a styrofoam ball. This ball will roll around a bunch, so we are going to make it easier by cutting a flat bottom. If your styrofoam ball is denser, you will need a handsaw to cut this. Be careful when you cut the ball, and have a cutting board or mat down. After the bottom is fully removed, use your saw or cutting utensil to flatten the bottom more. Most styrofoam balls have a line in the middle. Sand this portion down to make the snowman's face look nice and round. Clean it off with a wet paper towel once it's sanded down. Use the styrofoam ball as a reference and use a piece of chalk on black felt to draw out eyes and also mouth parts. Cut the fabric and save any extra. You're going to want a piece that is rectangular and put it off to the side. Fold the fabric over and cut out the eyes and also the mouth parts. After you have all of these cut out, move them to the side and prep some polymer clay. Warm it up with your hands. Roll some tin foil into a pointed cylindrical shape. This should be just about 2 to 3 inches long. After your tin foil is shaped, cover it with polymer clay. Press a piece of clay out, lay it down flat, and wrap it around the tin foil. Cut off any extra clay from the sides and also cut off any extra clay from the back. You're going to want it to have a flat back. Go and re-smooth the clay. Bake it at 295 degrees for just about 10 to 15 minutes. Take it out and let it cool. While your clay is cooling, glue down the eyes and also the mouth. Eyes should be put on first to judge how many mouth pieces you are going to need. After the eyes are glued down, move on to the mouth parts and take your time with this. After everything is glued down, we are moving on to make a hat. Take the leftover felt and roll it into a cylinder. Glue the edge at an angle and cut a large circle 4 times or about that size of the cylinder that you just made. The circle doesn't need to be perfect, but take your time cutting and try to get it as circular as possible. Glue the cylinder to the base with a generous amount of hot glue. Glue a smaller circle on the top of the hat, and then glue the hat on the snowman's head. You can glue it to the side, or you could always glue it to the center of the snowman's head. Line up the snowman head to the middle of a piece of white felt, and draw squiggles in the outer portion with a black piece of chalk. Cut the felt out and shape it. Put hot glue into the middle and line up the snowman head. Glue down polyfill or stuffing around the snowman head. Start closest to the snowman head and branch out. Paint the sculpted nose orange after it is fully and totally cooled down. Let the paint dry and glue it onto your snowman head. Hold it in place for a few seconds and press on it while holding the top. Now find the perfect place to put your melted snowman head. Because I still have my Christmas tree up, I put it into my Christmas tree, but you can put this anywhere you would like to and still celebrate the winter season. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!